Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Rich and Mona, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Mona's ability to understand and respond to her formal obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and let go on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Mona's going to come home with her very own training collar, and you'll be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now Mona's sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling.
Mona, heel.
The command is Mona, heel, and at this point Mona has a job to do, and that is to stay even with Rich's left leg when walking. So this is one of the things that we hear a lot, is that my dog drags me on walks. And she was walking very nicely at Rich's left. And each time that he stops his feet, she's been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So this makes walking your dog a pleasure. When you're walking down the street and you have her well under control, she's not dragging you. When you stop to cross traffic or stop to talk to a neighbor, she sits nicely at your left and waits for her next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the stay.
Stay.
The stay is a hand and a voice command, and it is a one-word command. The long sit stay when you're practicing at home can be practiced right indoors for 1 minute, working up to 3 minutes. When Rich returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her.
Stay.
Now she got distracted, so Rich made her go back to the sit stay, and he returns all the way back around to her, and then she gets praised.
Mona, heel.
And they're going to take off heeling again. And remember, practicing these exercises with her keeps her on her toes, gives her something to do with that active little brain of hers.
Stay.
Rich is going to leave her in another sit stay. This time, instead of returning back to her, he's going to demonstrate the recall, or the come on command.
Mona, come.
He uses her name, calls her right over, and she should sit. Go back to sitting, not jumping all over you. So everything is about her having self-control. We're working on maturity, focus, all of those things. And Rich will demonstrate that recall exercise again for you. He leaves her in a sit stay. Walks out to the end of his training leash.
Mona, come. Good girl.
She should come right in and sit. And that prevents her from coming to you and jumping all over you. Now the next exercises that we're going to demonstrate for you are the ones that are my favorites, and those are the down commands. The first one, with your dog seated at heel position, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, give the one-word command to down. The long down stay when you're practicing at home, you're going to lengthen out again, time and distance. Start at about 2 minutes, work up to 5. This is a great exercise to practice with her at home for those times when you didn't feel like you had control of her. Rich heels her out of that, and remember, each time you return to heel position, she expects to get another command. We have a blanket out here for her because we are conscious of the fact that she doesn't have any hair and that she is very sensitive to the cold.
Down.
She's got her eye on a bird or a squirrel or a neighbor or something, but she's doing it, even with the distractions out here, and there's a ton of them. This time Rich will call her out of that exercise. She comes in and sits. And your praise should be, you know, very low key. Good girl. You don't have to go over the top with your encouragement. You don't need her to be then you have to reel her back in. You don't want her to get too overly excited.
Down. Stay. Mona, come.
Rich calls her in. She comes and sits.
Mona, go.
And this is really good for her because she's never been worked out in front of the building before. Now the last exercise we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a distance. So Rich is going to leave her in a sit stay. He's going to walk and face her. He's going to use his right hand to give the command.
Down.
Very good. Anything that she can do not to put her belly on the ground, even with the blanket. Now we've demonstrated for you her heel, her automatic sit, her stay, her down from a distance, her down stay, and her calm. These are the exercises that you're going to be practicing with Mona, and Amanda's going to teach you how to put them into everyday living situations. We've enjoyed having her, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.